audio. Yeah, our next levels of support that we're going to be waiting on is the 385 to 80. It was actually a fairly decent short off today's open / close. We shorted yesterday's close and today's open earlier. That was our last trade. And we tried to take a nice little bounce off that 395, but came back and got break even. Has anybody else taken any trades this evening, or has everybody just been pretty much just watching price action? Yeah. Like I said, right now we're just kind of waiting for the. You could have took this for a 10-point bounce if you were a little bit patient. And this is the 535 35 EMA bounce. There's a guy in my lobby that uses this every day. All right, like I said, here are the levels that we're looking for. I really want to short these levels, especially below this 80 here. We had a really nice bounce off this 80 today, so I just had to go somewhere, so I couldn't wait for these trades, but I wish I could have. We pushed above it, retested. You want to wait for the print above it. None of this ever printed above the 80 level that we were waiting for. So that's why we're waiting to short this. And so if we can get a short position, then we can target the lunch session during the New York session down at the 60s and the 50s. But I know being in the Asia market, we'll have to be super patient and wait for that. And we could possibly get another bounce here at the 385. This could be the low here, because this is the low of today. Oh, goodness. Like I said, we're waiting on to see what happens with price action at 385. So that area there will decide if we're going to get long or short. So I'd really love to short those 380s and hold. Ah. All right, we're about 10 points away. So guys, what we're going to do is just keep it on trading view. This way we can just watch, since it's super slow price action, or the price action super slow. So we got time just to kind of watch and chill. May have to go get my phone charger because phone's down to like 16%. So we took a couple little trades earlier, so we're like $21 in the red here. Could have been a lot worse tonight. Because what I did is I accidentally thought I was taking trade on micros on this, because I try to keep it, especially want to keep it micros during the Asia market, just because it's super slow and everything's just a grind. And I was actually on minis and not micros. Uh-oh, did my camera freeze? You son of a bee. I haven't really figured out why my camera's been doing this lately. I don't know, just because that NVIDIA's running in the background. That's what I feel like it's doing. Because what it does is it causes my camera to freeze up. And I could use the NVIDIA, but it just seems like it's very bright, and I don't know how to mess with the settings to tone it down. Like I said, if you're just joining us, we're waiting on 385 target to see what happens with that level. As you can delete here, if you look back to the left, we've had what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like about 6 or 7 bounces off of that 385. Then for longs, we need to get back above the 412 and the 410s. Sorry about that. I put down the chat there for a minute. Is there anybody else taking any trades this evening, or if anybody's got any kind of levels that they're watching for? If you guys are looking for a simple trade, I got this one guy in my lobby who trades this level bounce right here, like probably every day. This is the 535 EMA. This thing bounces off this level like every time almost. Get those marked out. Like I said, these are the levels we're waiting on. The 385 are 380. And below these levels, I was looking for shorts. But we could get a bounce off 385. I think that's yesterday's low. And that's also the New York PM session low also. All right. These are the levels that we're waiting on here. All right, we'll pull it over on Trading View. That's why you can kind of see it. So for longs, we're waiting to see if we get back above 412 or 410, and that's printing with the 5-minute. So what you want to see is whenever we push these levels, so how like we had fake pushes here, this one pushed, and this one was the retest. I put that in Methodicals Man's lobby earlier on the 5-minute. This is where I said you want to wait for the retest, and it hit the 410 almost right on the dot. Then it pushed down to the 495, and that's where I said it'd probably bounce again off of that 535 EMA. So you did get the 10-point bounce off of that level. So the next levels that we're waiting on to break is this 380 or even 387, which is your the New York PM session. Well, I don't know if you want to say that's the low of the New York of the PM session. So just got to be patient. I don't know if anybody else is in a trade. Did anybody else hold on to their trade back here? To me, this would have been where you should have been short from this, the 410s. And right now we're still just kind of bouncing off that 5-minute trend. Also. I guess Methodical Man decided he was ready to get off. He didn't want to. He wasn't staying on late today. So we'll also be back in the morning session too for the New York session. Let's see what's going on. I'm not really sure what happened during today as far as the Papa Powell stuff that was going on this morning. I'm not sure what he was testifying on. For tomorrow. Well, I guess Powell is testifying again tomorrow. Like I said, I'm not really sure what he's testifying about. But we also have new home sales tomorrow. So let's just do the whole week. So at least we do have some kind of news. Nice. I'm glad Papa Powell loves me. So that was Wednesday. So Wednesday, we got new home sales at 10 o'clock tomorrow. Thursday, durable goods. A lot of 2-star, 1-star news kind of throughout the morning. Looks like we have PC core piece price index early morning. Yeah, I guess it is 10 o'clock your time over there, methodical. It's only 9 o'clock here. There's not really anything for me to do because my short level should have been 410s. That's where I should have been holding my short from. He never streams all-nighters. I don't blame him. Shoot, my butt. You guys would be watching me sleep if I tried to stream all night. Ooh. I'd be over here like nodding off. Man, when I was streaming, when I first started doing the streaming stuff, I worked a third shift job where I would work overnights and stream in the morning. Man, there's been multiple times where I fell asleep streaming during the morning time. Like, just be like, eyes would be heavy as crap, man. Be rough. Whew. Yeah, you're going to have to get back in streaming shape. Have to pop off some 12-hour streams. I've yet to try a 12-hour stream there, methodical. Like I said, guys, if you're just joining us, we're going to have to sit here and be patient. Either we need to wait for a retest of the 410s, 412s to see if those levels hold, or we need to see what kind of bounce we get off those 390, those 385s. So we're still tomorrow going to hopefully strictly stick to our Apex funded and just try to find our 110-point trade. Yeah, I didn't do one that day. I was, but I decided not to. Yeah, one of these days I'll have to do the evening streaming with methodical or something. It's definitely a little bit better when you have someone you can chat with, especially when it's just super slow. Because, I mean, there's really not much to really talk about as far as the stock market goes or the futures market in this time of the night. I'm just trying to be patient and wait on my levels to get retested. Yeah, I almost messed up my account tonight because, you know, I would never dare try to trade some minis in freaking the Asia market. And I thought it was on micros and I was on freaking minis. So I had to get back all the money I lost by over leveraging. Luckily, it was just an eval. So we were down like $300 because I thought I was just taking a 5 or 10 point loss on micros. So I was thinking like 30, $60. Now I looked over there and it was like $300. But I got it back to just $21 in the red. So we should be good. Did you take a lot of trades tonight? Oh, you think you're older than Methodical Man? I mean, I guess. I think Methodical Man has told his age on screen before. Yeah, he's in his 40s. I'm 48. I turned 48 this year. So definitely up there in the old years. Okay, so I'm just like 4 years behind you. Oh, yeah, Methodical Man's 45. So he'll turn 46 this year. Yeah. Look at that kid. Oh, goodness. Damn, did this stuff. I mean, it's like we just froze up, man. I think we're going to put it on the second chart. Maybe if we put it on the second chart, it looks like we got some movement. Oh. We may hang out here till 11 o'clock and see what kind of, or 10 o'clock, yeah, 11 o'clock Eastern time, just to see if we get any kind of movement. If we don't get any kind of movement, we'll just call it a night and come back tomorrow morning. What's up, David? Shoot, I hope when I'm in my 60s or 70s, I'm just still chilling, trading on the tube, or just trading some prop firms or trading my own money in the 60s and 70s. I don't want to be going to the casino. You ever? We have a casino probably about 30 minutes from here. I swear it just seems like 60 plus years old. Like mostly everybody in there is like 60 plus up there just slamming the slot machines. Got to have somewhere to spend the pension and the 401k. I think they made most of those non-smoking except for small sections. I remember before they made the casinos like non-smoking, like it would literally feel like you're just walking through a haze of smoke because people just sitting there hours and hours just smoking in the same spot. Honestly, I hope we don't get any big movement for the overnight, just because I think that's one of the reasons why the New York sucked this morning, because we had so much movement. And usually when we get a bunch of movement in the Asia London market, the New York section sucks in the morning. Yeah, see, I don't remember smoking on airplanes. That's something I do not remember. Everything else smoking I remember, like malls, stores, anything else, but I was never on an airplane as a young person either. Well, they do have just like little vents and stuff that just suck the smoke out on a plane. Ashtrays built into the armrest, like some of the older cars. Man, I don't know. Like I said, I've never been on. I haven't really been on a plane since I was like 20 or 19. I would figure instead of those little vents that blows airs on you, they would have it reverse where it sucks it out, because the airplane's pretty tight space. So guys, if you're just joining us, like I said, the levels that we're waiting on to get hit is 410 to 412 for longs. Above that, or shorts if we find support, or we can wait to see what happens at the 385, which is today's low at the moment. But definitely the 380. The 380 is definitely a target to be watching if we get to it. So we have taken a couple of trades in the Asia market. They were just a little bit earlier. So we shorted the today's open here at the 410s. So this is the 5-minute candles. We waited for the 5-minute push. We've waited for almost a retest right at the 410s. So it was definitely a good short area, because you had today's open / yesterday's close. Those are always really good support levels. Those have been some of my favorite shorts or long areas to take shorts and long off of the open and close, especially when they don't have that big gap, like a opening week gap or something. So does everybody here, do y'all usually trade the Asia session? I've only traded the Asia session a few times. I just know you have to be patient and just wait. So if we take our trades, we're going to be taking it on Ninja, but we don't have these levels marked out on our Ninja chart, so we're just kind of waiting. And we could get a bounce, but see, we've already gotten 2 or 3 bounces in this area. I'm hoping that we break the PM low here. I want to see us push down to like the New York lunch low, all the way down in the 50s. If you're going to be short here, that 410 was your short opportunity. Hopefully we don't get no kind of like crazy price action where it goes down, which I don't think the Asia offers the crazy price action, but you never know. Oh, that's coming. They gotta turn that down. Methodical man would send me something crazy on TikTok with inappropriate language. Yeah, I know what you mean. This is why I just bring over my trading view chart. So, I may even go grab something to drink here in a minute. Not like alcohol drink, but like coffee or water or something. So if you're just joining us, this is the 5-minute charts, and what we're waiting on is we're waiting for the 385 to either find support or get hit, or if you're looking, you could take either a long or short off probably either one of these levels, or if it pushes back into today's open or yesterday's close. This was your short from earlier. If you were patient enough to wait, this would have been your short here. Or you could have got a long too. I mean, we had a couple hits on. Unfortunately, I didn't have this on here, and I wasn't even thinking about it until I think Methodical Man said something. Like I said, we'll give it to 11 o'clock and just see if we get any kind of movement. If not, we'll just call it a night and come back in the morning during the New York session. If I knew I could stay awake, I wouldn't mind even trading London session. It seems like there's some really good movement in London session, especially when you go back and look at it overnight. So the reason why I like this 80 level, if you kind of go to the left over here, this was, let's see, is that 2 o'clock last night? Yeah, 2 o'clock. Here was that bounce off the 80. Oh yeah, especially during the slower session. So this 80 area was the high in the London session overnight. I mean, we had a what 120 point sell off of that 80 last night. So, and you can see, so during the New York lunch session, we finally got back above this 80. See how it retested perfect on the dot with the 5-minute chart here. Pushed above it, retest of the 380. Then went up, what, 20, about 40, 50 points if you kind of wrote it out. Total, if you rolled out the whole thing. 70 points if you rolled out the multiple retests of that area. Because we had an entry here. What's that? 40 points, another pullback, then another 40, almost 50 points on that pullback. So this is why we're looking to possibly either short or get long off of that 80. So but I don't know if it's going to happen during the Asia or if it's one of those things you're going to have to probably wait till London session before we get to sell off, because that looks like what happened. It didn't happen till 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock yesterday morning. I guess while we're waiting, I'm gonna go grab something to drink, guys. I'll be back in a sec. We didn't miss anything. I was hoping if I walked away, we might get some kind of movement. Oh shoot! I have to find something to listen to. I usually don't ever try. I think I only traded like maybe once or twice last week at this time. But I'm pretty sure we've already missed it. Not missed a trading opportunity if you were looking for a trade. Like I said, that 410 should have been your trade from earlier. Nice. Like I said, guys, we'll give it till 11 o'clock. If we don't get nothing by then, we'll just call it a good. Do most of you guys here live in the U.S. or are you guys in other countries? I know we've had some guys in here from the Asia, from Canada, from somewhere around India, I think. So if you're just joining us, like I said, when I was gone, we're looking for either a retest of the 410s or we're looking for a bounce off 385 or even a possible short below 380. So that's kind of what we're waiting on at the second. And we'll be taking our trades on the ninja charts. But we're just watching Trading View because it has our levels. This way we don't really have to have them marked out on our charts or have them marked out on our ninja charts. Is there anybody here trading with like live money? Does anybody trade with live money? I've been wanting to start that. I just hadn't got around to it yet. We are going to be trade. We got a live account that's with Tradivate. Trade. Oh, we just haven't started it yet. And this previous day open slash close, you know, that's kind of one of the strategy that I wanted to use with that. So right now we have $850 in our cash account, and we were just going to trade like a few micros with it, but like I said, we haven't started it yet. I used to use Tradivate when I first started trading. I actually like Tradivate. We were having a lot of issues with them with their. I guess this is back when they were really popular. Used to get a lot of lag and freeze on their charts back then. I guess because mainly the Top Step people, the Top Step prop firm used them, but then Top Step made their own prop firm. I mean, own trading charts. So I think they've gotten a lot better since then. Let me log out of this real quick. But yeah, that's probably going to be the plan. Probably in the next few months is to try to start trading a cash account. And what we've been trading lately, what's been probably the most successful for us lately is trading the previous open day close or the previous day low or high. But this morning we did not trade that. This morning we took our trade off of the 5-minute opening candle. But I think it only paid like 15 points if I'm not mistaken. So that would have been back here. This would have been our AM trade here. So basically what it is, I use opening range, this little indicator. This way it marks out the 5-minute, the 15-minute, and the 30-minute candle. And so what we did is we traded the retest of the 5-minute candle this morning off of these two red candles. So we waited for the push up. And with this strong bullish candle, we got 10 points, but we didn't get anything on our runners. I think it only went up 15 points before it did pull back pretty hard this morning. So, but that was our funded trade this morning, and that was on Apex. Then we also had an eval trade here or there. Is there anybody currently in a position right now, or is everybody just kind of sitting on the sidelines waiting? So if you're just joining us, thanks for joining us. Right now, we're just kind of sitting through some choppy Asia market price action. So right now we're waiting for us to either break the 410 or find support up here at the 410/412, or for another area that we're watching is down here at today's low at 385, and we will definitely be shorting the 380s if we get below it, which I don't know if we'll get there time we're ready to get off, because we're just definitely creeping at the moment. Trying to make sure I can't hear my music outside of my headphones, because sometimes with YouTube, if they can hear your music in your headphones, they'll send you like a warning for copyright issues. So for anybody that's usually at Methodical Man's Lobbies, Fish Slips in there, he trades this one EMA. It's called the 535 EMA. It almost gives you 10 points every day on the first bounce. So this was the first bounce here on that indicator, or EMA here at the 5. This is the 535 EMA. So we done bounced off of it 3 times already. And it almost even does this in the New York session too. Yeah, 535 EMA. Fish Lips uses it every day. Fish Lips is always talking about the 535. Like, it bangs. A lot of times I forget about it, but Fish Lip trades it like every day, I think. Yep, 535 EMA. I forgot about it for a while. Yeah, that was on the 1 minute charts. I mean, I'm assuming you can try it on the other charts, but I've always used it on the 1 minute chart to watch it. I haven't really taken trades on it, except for that I did take that trade a while ago, and it was a break-even trade because I went to break-even because it did pull back and slap that 90 before it went up the full 10 points. But usually you do not get this in the New York session, though. Usually it's a bounce like this and a straight 10 or 20 points off of that level. Let's see. I don't know if we could go back and find anything or not while we're waiting for something to happen. And see, it hardly ever gets hit because, it's so deep. I mean, look how much of a gap that you have under that level. And when it finally does get hit, it usually bounces pretty hard. See, I don't know how sure these are. I think it's hard to go back and look at it in hindsight because of the EMAs, how they move. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Fishlip uses it on the 1 minute, but yeah, I know Fishlip trades the second charts a lot too. Or he may have it on there, but also have it on the 15-second charts. Because I know that's what he trades. He trades a lot of that 15-second charts because he's trading a lot of times from the whole numbers. So like he'll take trades at 50 and does them in 25-point increments with like 1 or 2 micros. And I haven't really figured out the way to trade that where I feel comfortable doing it. He's tried to show me a few times, but I've never, I'm not very good at putting resting orders on the board. Like I just don't feel like I have control. I mean, to me, to do that, you definitely got to have a setup that you believe in to put resting orders. That's where you just, you're not pushing the button. You're letting the market just do what it's supposed to do. And sometimes I think I'd get better entries if I did that. So for instance, so right here, this retest, if I would have put my entry at 410 and just let it do its thing, I would have, got the nice freaking almost 20-point move here if I'd have did it that way. And so a lot of times I wait for the 5 minutes to break on that. So this is this it right here? No. Okay, right here. So this is your 5-minute candle. It's pushing below it. So it took about 3 pushes. None of these candles printed below it. This was the first printed candle right here. See how this 5-minute pushes back up to the 410s? And so if you'd have put a resting order there, you would have got tagged in. Then you would have got the sell-off. So I know a couple times last week, I kept FOMOing and jumping in early. Then if I'd have been a little bit more patient, it would have pulled back and tagged me in. Now, a lot of these little trades that I take like this are just strictly eval trades. There's another strategy that I've been wanting to try, but I keep missing them. So what these areas are, these are the highs and lows of each trading session. And what it is, you want to try to catch the very first move of the previous low or high in that trading session. This is the one Capital has been telling me about, but I keep missing it. So, all right, here's your London low. Trading. This is the very first break of the London low here. You want to have it about 3 points past the London low, 20-point stop loss, and I'm assuming you can shoot for 20 points. But you're tagged in, and I mean, hell, it went up 40 points. All right, that was the London low. So now here's the London AM. We still haven't taken out the London highs. Same thing, 3 points above the London high, 20 points. So you would have been long. What is that? Entry 85. So you would have been short about 88 or so. Sold back almost 30 points. But see, I keep missing these. And this is why I have this indicator on here, because I'm hoping that I can be patient enough and wait on them. But like I said, I've been missing them. This is why I hope I said that the Asia just consolidates this whole time and not really offer any moves. And this way I know New York, it's probably going to be okay. Because anytime you have big movement in the overnight, the New York AM sucks, just like it did this morning. We didn't really get any good movement until after lunch. Like I said, we'll give it about 10 more minutes. If we can't get anything, we may just call it a night and just come back in the morning. If I can get up early enough, I've been wanting to get up early enough and do like some of the London session where you're, because it's sometimes they offer good moves like at 6 o'clock in the morning, 5 o'clock in the morning. And so we miss a lot of those. So if you're staying on tonight to continue trading, like I said, I feel like this 380 is a really good short opportunity if we can print below 80. And I kind of pointed it out from yesterday. So this was like the all-time highs from this morning. And unfortunately, I had to leave. And because I was trying to target up here, that was one of our longs that we were in, because I wanted to target the 70s, around those 70s to 80s, and it finally did hit. But see, this 80 level here during the London session up here, and it hit 80, then sold back off 120 points during the London session. So that's why I said, I think if we can get below that 80 tonight, you could get maybe a nice rundown into the 50s and 60s or even farther, because we haven't taken out New York AM sessions either, or even, this is why I said the 60s or 80s, because this is your lunch time right here during the New York session. So, and we haven't been back to that level since, lunchtime today. So that's what I'd be targeting if I could get in my short. And for longs, I'd wait for you to get back above the 412s or the 410s on the 5 minute. I wouldn't do it on the 1 minute. I usually think it's a lot safer if you do it on the 5 minute. So this is the 5 minute charts, because what it does is it keeps you from getting into fake out trades. Most of the time, if the 5 minute prints below that level or above that level, it's usually a little bit more, solid. Just like this, you see how these 5 minute candles kept pushing below it but popping back up? I mean, you'd have been chopped up trying to short that crap with the 1 minute, unless you, I guess, if you had your stop loss at the previous swing, which was up here. But the only thing that would scare me here is you got equal highs sitting at 431. So we could make a run back up to these equal highs up there at 431. It's pretty close. I think it's equal highs. If not, it's close. I've been wanting to do the opening because I figure the opening is probably the best time with some kind of volume. But you got to hop on at 5 o'clock. So we'll try that tomorrow and see what happens. We're trying to find different times to stream instead of just streaming in the morning, because it's so many people streaming in the morning. So it's hard to build your channel at New York AM session, because you have so many different streamers, and now a lot of prop firms are streaming. So most of these prop firms, they have like 1,000 people watching. And I don't even understand, like I don't really understand the concept there of watching prop firm channels. Like, I guess the reason why is, like, why would a prop firm want you to be successful if it costs them money? I don't understand that one. I could be wrong, but that's just what it feels like to me. Like, why would prop firm that's you're watching? I mean, I don't think people follow prop firms, those prop firm channel trades, but I don't know. I could be wrong. But yeah, that's kind of what my take on some of the prop firm channels. That may be a little different when they have guests on. I don't think the guests are deliberately trading bad, but I don't know about the same people you see who are on that same prop firm channel every day. The only prop firm that I've ever really watched for like a little bit of period of time was probably the Top Step prop firm channel. But other than that, now I think My Funded Futures is doing one. But like I said, it's hard for me to believe those people would want you to be successful since you're trading with them. Like, I don't see why they would want to show you how to have winning trades if it's going to cost them money. I don't know. So guys, we're going to give it about 5 or 10 more minutes to see if we can get up to the levels that we're waiting on. So the two levels that we're waiting on is either 410, 412, or 385. Those were our entry areas that we're looking for. So this would have been your last entry here at 410 for the short. So, and this is a trade that I take a lot on my funded accounts in the New York session. This is the setup that I look for my funded accounts every single day. It don't always happen every day because a lot of times you don't really get to the previous day low or the previous day high. Most of the time you're just trading in between. So look, yesterday's previous, that's today's high. Yeah, yesterday's high is up at 47. So we haven't been back up to yesterday's high yet. And usually, like I said, I usually wait. I take this on, I don't take it on the 5 minute. Usually I take it on the 1 minute, but I'm waiting for the setup to happen on the 5 minutes. I don't wait for the setup to happen on the 1 minute just because you can just get chopped up around that location. And sometimes I FOMO'd in instead of waiting for the retest where you need to really wait for the retest of the 5 minute candle. But I've also missed trades doing that too, waiting on the retest of that previous day close or previous day high or low on the 5 minutes. So is there anybody else in an entry right now, or is everybody just kind of watching price action? I didn't know if this was just like a really, how many people actually traded this type of price action overnight, or do you guys just like scalping a few points? I hear gold moves really well this time of the night. I'm trying to see if I can remember the gold here. Let's see. I've had it on here before and I just cannot remember the abbreviation for gold. I don't know if anybody remembers that. It's like MG. Let me do it on another chart here. New window. We'll take it off to the side and see if we can find it. Oh, it's GC or MGC. Okay. I couldn't remember. I know I've had it. I've seen, I've looked at it before, but there it is. Micros gold. Let's see. Do you trade gold? I mean, I guess if you were trading a mini, this would be decent movement because isn't it like $50 a point? And it's pretty pricey, right? I don't know. Do you know how much gold is for 1 point on a mini? Let's see. Oh. I'm just curious how much of oh, there we go. Now this is on a sim account. I was just kind of curious how much a gold is worth. Like this is just risking 1 point on a sim account. I was just curious. So it's $10 a point for micros. Oh shoot, I thought I switched over to whatchamacallit. Where are you long from on your gold? $33.45. My trade's only winning because it's in a sim account. If it was in an eval or funded, it'd probably lose. But since it's in a sim. All right, so we are approaching those levels. All right, let me get back on my charts real quick. All right, we still got about 2 minutes left on this candle here. So like as you can see, that 5-minute hit off yesterday's close at 412. You still got a minute left on this 5-minute candle to see if we're going to push above. So far it's looking pretty good. It's a nice bullish looking 5-minute candle there. All right, we got 1 minute left. The 1 minute made a nice little bounce off the 412. But like I said, I try to wait for the 5-minute candle to print above it so I don't get caught in these 1 minute fake outs. sometimes I get FOMO, especially during the New York session when I'm waiting for these levels to bounce. I want to see the 1 minute or this 5-minute candle print, then make a wick off of these levels. $16 seconds left. Let me make sure I'm not okay. I had to make sure I wasn't on freaking minis. All right, here comes our new candle. Hopefully we get some kind of like little pullback into that 10. I want to see a wick back into that 10. The 12 or 10, either or. I mean, we're not many points off of it. I mean, that was a little wick. I mean, it hit 13. It got down to 13. I mean, really close. It's still holding. I mean, there's the test right on the money there. So now we're just waiting to see if it's going to hold. That was a retest of that 412. All right. And we're only going to be in this for like 6 points. 6 times 2 micros. What is that? 6. And my line in the sand is going to be 12 to 10. So anything below that, we'll shut our trade down. I don't know if we get above that. We're just going to shoot for 20. Then we'll see what the runner does. Because you also have this. I don't know. I think 25 was a stretch for the first target. I wish I could have been long from freaking 12, but I just don't know what kind of, I just don't really, not that familiar with the London trading, or not London, but with Asia trading. So it's fairly new to me. So I know the price action is a little different. The reason why I chose 20 is we got a fair value gap sitting at freaking 19. We're going to hold that 12. We'll just lower our risk down. So now we're just in this for like 4 points. We'll do 5 points actually. So what it is, we hit the bottom of this fair value gap here at 1920. So that's why I chose that. I thought I would at least get that level, but we missed it by like a freaking tick. So you see what I mean? How I said I struggle with putting resting orders, how I would get better entries if I trusted it, where if I'd have put a resting order at 12, we would already be in this for almost 10, 8 points. Yeah, 12 is looking a lot better right now, guys. I think we could have got 10 points because I think maybe we push maybe another push into those fair value gaps. Hopefully this wasn't a lower high here since we didn't break this. That's another worry too, because this could just be another lower high then for us to push all the way back down. But even if it does, we're not into this trade for a whole bunch of money, so it'll be okay. Maybe one little more push, we can get the 20, go to break even, then we'll see what the runner gives us. But this type of setup, this is what I've been trading my funded accounts on in the New York session. So these are the setups that I look for in New York. But I'm not looking, most time I'm looking for 10 points plus big runners. The same exact setup. We look for a previous day close or previous day open. We watch the 5-minute chart. The 5-minute candle pushes above it. You wait for a wick with the 5 minutes. The wick. You want to have a big old wick on the bottom of your 5-minute candle. And then that's usually when I'm getting long once I see that wick. But like I said, this is Asia. I don't know if it's the same. I know the price action is a little different here in the Asia market. We keep running into, we got a little fair value gap here. But I don't know why. It's already looks like it's already been ran with this candle here. Once I hit 20, I'm going to go to pretty close to break even. At least I hope. Hope it at least gives me 20. All right, there's the 20. There's the 20. Nice. So I think we're going to target 435 for our last. Actually, we may even do 30s. We'll do 30s. I'm just going to risk a few points of this, just right below that 9 EMA, since in case we get a 9 EMA pullback. May have to pull back. If we can pull back, retest those 410s, 412s, I may re-enter with one more micro if it stops me out here. Man, you would have got your 10 points if you'd have been long from that 412 if you had the boys to put you a resting order at 412. And this is free on TradingView. You really don't even really, well, yeah, I do. If you're using the way I'm using it, you got to have the data plan. But I usually have it pulled up every single day. So I'm always watching it because, like I said, this is the setup that I look for funded accounts in the New York session. Oh, it looks like it's about to stop us out. We didn't get the big runner to make a new high or anything. Wow, that was a hard bounce off that 10 level. And that 10 level, that's at today's open at 410. That's what that hard bounce was off of that 410. That might have just been our lower high here. Well, no, that's almost equal highs, man. You would think it'd go back up there and clear that up. I almost want to risk 3 points here and see if we can take out these equal highs up here. We're only in this for 4 points, so not even $8 if it comes back and stops us out. I was just seeing if it would take out these equal highs up here. We got 2 equal wicks sitting here at the 21s. And it may not. I think if we get back below this 412, I may even close this if we lose that 412 level. Now, this is strictly eval trades only at the moment, guys. No funded accounts. I don't trade funded during the Asia market because I'm not used to trading Asia. This is only probably like a few times that I've traded Asia. And it's definitely a lot different from trading New York just because you don't have the volume and the explosion that you're usually looking for. Woo. All right, looks like we're going to be out our $8. All right. All right, guys, that was going to be my last trade of the night. So we just pretty much probably gave back our what little profits that we made off of that long while ago. Yeah. Mo's like, hey. So if you get back below those levels and kind of do it the opposite, if you print below these 410s and 412s and look for the 5-minute wick back into them, you probably could get you a short of 5 to 10 points. The one level that I wanted to short tonight was the 380s and 385s. But I don't know if I'm going to be able to stay on that long. Yeah, Asia's hard. That's why I just do it with very low risk, LAFTA. So we're just trading a few micros. We do it more probably for just practice and chart time for anything. Not necessarily trading funded accounts or anything like that. Just more or less for chart time. But yeah, this is the setup that I've been trading mostly all my fundeds on in the New York session here. So 5 minute push above the previous day high or close, then have a pullback back into that level. I haven't really got comfortable yet where I want to put a resting order, but the resting order, you definitely get a definitely better entry, because in the New York session, it's going so fast that most of the time you're about 5 or 6 points off of that level. Oh, and you still have these equal highs sitting up here. Like I said, I was only risking like 3 or 4 points on that last one that stops us out. You would think it'd want to take out these equal highs. I mean, I'm not saying it will, but you know how it is. They usually always want to got two wicks that are sitting there right on top of each other. What is that trading lean hogs? What is that about, Lafta? Huh. Oh, we traded lean. Okay, I get it now. I was like, what? What does that look like? We were just looking at gold a minute ago. Oh shoot. Uh I think what is Lab, he was long from 45. Let's see. You said it's HE. Lean hog futures. Woo. That's pretty wild looking. Is it closed at this time of the night? I've never seen any. Is it closed in an overnight session? Okay, it's got short hours of trading. Okay. Oh, I see that. It's only trading from 8:30 till 1 o'clock. So wait, no. Right? Let's see. It looks like it just trades up till 1 o'clock. Yep. Either 1 or 1:30. I can't really tell. It looks like maybe 1:30. Or 2:30. It may be 2:30 because I'm not sure if my Ninja Charts is in Eastern or Central time. I couldn't tell you. I don't really ever pay attention. How much is it a contract to trade hogs, Outer, Lafta? Man, that 410, 412 is still kind of paying the bills, guys. At least for 4 or 5 points. I don't know if you can get your 10 unless you took a trade right off of that 410. You traded it on Top Step. No, I mean, how much does it cost a contract? Like, how much is for one contract on like a mini? Did anybody stay long off the 410 or 412? Oh, excuse me. You really want to see this make a another high here. You don't really want to see a lower high because either that or maybe another pullback into this area, then go. Wait, it's $800 a point? What? I don't know. Let's see. Yeah, per contract, LAFTA. Let's see. I was trying to see if I could Google it. Oh, margin required is 8.0. Maybe $10. $10 a point contract. Maybe $10 a move or something like that. Looks like. Or 10. It says in pounds. Doesn't really give me the U.S. cost, but it does say $10 per pound, or I think that's how it's read. I don't know. Okay, yeah, $10 per tick. That's the beauty of danger props. Nice. We paper handed our long off the 410s, 412s. I sit here and waited all night for those levels, and I get stopped out just for a small little winner. Like I said, your entry was back here, down here at the 410s, 412s. What sucks, we've had these levels marked out. I mean, we did get like 5 or 6 points, but we didn't get the full 10 points like we were looking for. I was hoping we'd get up to the 30s here, but I tried to re-enter because I thought we would take out these kind of almost equal highs sitting here at 21. We got 2, looks like, untested wicks here. So oh, someone named Smooth Trader trades the hog prop or hog contracts in the morning, LAFTA. Let's see. Oh, you got him to trade it for the first time. Okay. Okay. Hmm. I have to remember. Maybe we'll check him out in the morning unless we forget. Sometimes I get so focused on charts, and a lot of times I hear other people trading in the background because I listen to just other streamers, and sometimes I forget about other people or other traders. Or I try not to listen to too many different traders because a lot of times I don't want to be persuaded by anybody. Guys, I think that's going to do it for me. It's 11:30 Eastern time, so it's 10:30 mine. So probably go sleep for 5 or 6 hours, and we'll be back in the morning. So these levels offered two setups. Like I said, this is how I've been trading these levels. They offered two winning trades this evening for at least 10 points. The first one, let me go to the 5 minutes because it looks better on the 5 minutes than it does trading this on the and see what I mean by like where I said I'm not patient enough and wait for the pullback. If I was patient enough, the 5 minute did pull all the way back to the 410s. So that's kind of what I was saying a while ago about you get a little bit of FOMO and you see all that green and you want to jump in instead of being patient and wait for the pullback. So this was the first entry this morning, a few hours ago. So we pushed below the previous day open, which was at the 410s, and you also had the close here at 412s. And this is your 5 minute candle that I watched this on. So the 5 minute pushes below these levels, and you really want to wait for the 5 minute retest. Unfortunately, sometimes it doesn't happen, and that's what gets me into the FOMO here. And a lot of times you can at least get anywhere between 10, 20, and 30 points off this bounce. You know, it's a lot of liquidity sitting at those previous day open close. All right, so this is the reversal. So look, 5 minute back above it. It retested the 12, and that's where I decided to get long. But look, it did retest those 410s, and then you would have, here's your 10 points. I'm not sure how often you get this type setup in the Asia market, but the New York session, you almost get it every day. So, but this is the setup that I've been trading mainly my funded accounts on. So if you see me trading anything else during the daytime that's not this, more likely I'm on a eval, and it's just more or less for chart times, because I do more, probably like maybe a little bit more riskier setups on my evals than I do on my fundeds. So fundeds are just try to just trade one setup, and we've been trading this setup for the last few months pretty strictly since we started watching it. We've been watching it for a while, but then we decided to start trying to take this setup on our fundeds, and so far it's done pretty good for the month of May and June. I'm sorry. I didn't get a lot of trades in May because I was traveling back and forth to Georgia a lot because my mom was having surgery, so I was going down to Georgia for my mom's surgery and doctor visits. And plus, we had a vacation trip to Georgia too at the end of May, so I didn't really get to trade this setup a lot in May. But for the month of June, it's been pretty solid. Yeah, it's 8:30 there in California. Yeah, it's 10:30 where I'm at. But I figure I already missed my setup. This was my setup. If you were just looking for a nice little setup, and this was the setup here. But hey, we did take out those equal highs. If I didn't paper hand it and didn't want to risk, any more red, I mean, you would have got the 410 bounce, and you took out these equal highs that we had lined out here. The market always wants those equal highs that it left behind, especially if it's within like 10 points. The other white meat. Laughter, how many different things do you trade? I know, you've probably been in my lobbies probably one of the longest times, like off and on over the last year. And I know you've traded like multiple different things. I remember for a while you had those same Top Step X accounts that you said you paid like $20 for or something. You got them like those really cheap prop firm accounts. I don't know if you still have those or not, or if you got them to fund it or what you've done over the last year. But I know you had those for a while. Whenever they were running those specials, you have one left. That's awesome for a whole year, man. That's a good deal. Oh yeah. I think my oldest funded account, because I trade it off and on, or if I have a red, I'll take a break because I don't want to like go like medieval on it and blow it up. I have a funded account back from like September of last year. It's been a lot of up and down with that thing, but I haven't blown it though. That's the good part. I have not blown it. So a lot of up and down. I know. I can't believe she still has one left like after a whole year. That's pretty good. It's whenever Top Step was first doing their YouTube channel, and they were doing those specials or something of like $20 accounts or something. I can't remember how much she paid for them, but she got it, or it might have even been cheaper than that. It was a pretty good deal back in the day. What's up, Isaac? Wow, you're in Alaska. Mm. All right, guys. Thank you guys for watching, and we will be back. And if I don't get on earlier, we will definitely be back on at opening at the New York Open. So, like I said, tomorrow, this is the setup I'll be looking for. Where I really would like to get short, guys, is down here below this 380. I wish I could stay awake and wait for that to happen, but I don't think I can. So here's that 380 short from yesterday morning. Look at this nice little 380 short. I mean, it sold 120 points off of that level. So I'm thinking if we can get back below 380, you could definitely get a nice short, especially probably at least down to the 50s or 60s before you got some kind of bounce. But if we get through the 60s and 50s, there's nothing. It could go all the way down to the 300s. We got that untested wick here all the way back down at 22,300. If we're lucky enough, the market will wait for the New York session for that to happen, and we'll just consolidate all night. That's what I'd like for it to happen. so, so that the New York will have some good movement in the morning. Because yesterday the the London and Asia market got all the movement, and the New York sucked in the AM session. So if you want to look for a day that you do not trade in the New York session without messing with your accounts. So this is how I know that we're going to have a bad day in the New York session most of the time starting out. Let me go over here to this. It'll be easier to look at this. So right now we're just having some nice consolidation. So pretty good right now. So usually whenever the London does not come back out and take out the Asian lows. So look, the Asia low was all the way at 191. The time the New York opened, we had 191, almost a 200 point move overnight in the London. Capital also told me about this setup. I haven't tried it yet, but I am going to start trying it if I can catch it. So this happened like later this in the morning. I'm going to try to start getting on. I don't know what time this happens, but if you put this on your trading view chart, it marks out the highs and lows of each trading session. So what you want to do is wait for it has to be the very first push. So this is the very first wick below the London lows. After the London low, after the highs and lows of the London low. Usually you want to do 3 points past the previous high and have a 20-point stop loss, and look for maybe 20 points in a runner back up. So if you would have got, what is this? 62, so you would have been long from about 57. You would have had about 5 points in drawdown, and just the very first candle went up 40 points. Let's see, and this happens insanely quite a bit. So, and you can even look at, this was even a move here. So here's the Asia high. So basically you're waiting for the very first move into the Asia high. So the entry would have been 72. You go 3 points below that. So what's that, about 68? So 68 would have been your long entry here. You would have had about another 5 points in drawdown. So another 50-point move. I haven't been able to catch these because you just have to be on here all the time watching these. All right, once again, so now we're in the New York AM session. So I missed this morning because I had to leave. So look, you would have had your short sitting here at 385. And we wicked above it 5 points, so you'd only been 2 points of drawdown. So you would have been short from 388. It sold all the way back down 30 points. So every single one of these trades, even though they're hindsight, what it is, you have to be here for the very first hit. You can't be the second, the third, the fourth. It has to be the very first one that you want to get. But see, I haven't taken any of these because I've just learned about these recently. This is just something I've just never paid attention to. It's this one guy, Capital, or I'm guessing it's a guy that's been in my lobby recently. He's the one that's been telling me about this setup. So, but it offered 3 opportunities yesterday. You just, like I said, it's just one of those deals. If you're not on the charts, you're just not going to get it. I told him I've been trying to look for him, but like I said, I mean, it's like, oh, I didn't see it, I'm getting off. You come back and it hit. You're like, oh. That's usually the way it goes. But we never did pull down to take out the New York session here. The New York lunch session here. So but even if I take those, it's probably going to be on eval starting out because like I said, I've never taken those. All right, guys. Thank you guys for watching, and we will be back for the New York. Thank you. You too, Latha. Have a good evening since it's fairly early where you're at. Man, we're back at those 410s. Whew. Man, this could just be a lower high.